Welcome everyone. Today is our first meeting in our spring Qigong class. We're going to talk for just a couple of minutes before we start moving. I wanted to orient people a little bit about what the spring energy is doing and how it affects us. So as we go through the different seasons of the year, it affects us in very predictable ways. It might feel different from one person to the next, depending on what's going on in your own body, but it affects everybody the same way. So the wintertime energy, the energy pulls inside and it's very quiet. It's not moving around much. It's a good time for kind of really doing some inner work. It's like the dream time. Nothing, you're not supposed to, be racing around trying to do too much. It's really about inner work. And then when spring energy hits, it hits with a punch, like putting your foot on the gas pedal. It comes in really strong. And if you're kind of in a balanced state, it like, boom, it puts, lights a fire under you. You're like, I'm going to get that, shed cleaned out. I'm going to get the garden raked out. But if we're a little bit out of balance, when that energy comes in, it can be a little bit harsh and it can create feelings like cabin fever. You can feel trapped and stuck and behind, like you want to, get going and something's in your way. So if that happens in the springtime, you start to feel that kind of blocked and you want to get going, you feel behind. Sometimes people feel agitated. You wake up too early. You can't get back to sleep. That's the spring energy coming in, stirring things up. And we can do Qigong to help balance that out, give us a better sense of peace as we enter the spring season. Now, when is spring? It's different, from location to location, depends on what part of the world you live in. But basically, springtime is when the weather goes from being cold all the time to variable. All right. As soon as it starts bouncing around, that's springtime energy. Winter, it's cold all the time. Spring warms up, gets cold, warms up, gets cold. It rains, it snows, it's windy. It rains, it warms up, it snows, it's windy. So not when it's just nice from then on. A lot of people think of spring as when it's nice and it stays nice, but spring is when there's a lot of variability with the weather. That creates a lot of circulation in our body to break up that frozen wintertime energy, which is so inward. That variability that spring has gets it all moving and kind of unfrozen from our internal winter. But if our liver, specifically, our liver energy is a little out of balance. Hello, welcome. If our liver energy is a little out of balance, it's kind of like shaking a soda bottle when that spring energy comes in. It's kind of like shaking a soda bottle. The pressure starts to build up to bust open, break open, like pop the cork, so to speak. Okay. Our springtime Qigong set I created it from a variety of different styles of Qigong that all focus on the abdomen, which is the area of the body that gets in the most trouble as the spring energy comes in. As I mentioned, liver and gallbladder, which are on your right side. I'm doing a mirror image. It's on your right side, liver and gallbladder. And it also ends up affecting the spleen and the stomach, which is just opposite from that. Okay. So the exercises in this set have been pulled from many different styles that I teach to help the energy flow through this area, and it helps the whole abdomen. It's the best style of Qigong, working on the spring energy. It's the best style of Qigong to work on to help with stress any time of year. So if you have a lot of stress going on in your life, the exercises from this set would be very helpful. Stress affects these organs the most of any of the organs in the body. Stress affects the liver, gallbladder, and the spleen and stomach. We're going to talk more about the Chinese medicine aspect of it as we go through the course, but I did put a lot of info in the manuals. So if you want to really start to understand it, you can just read through that and kind of get some ideas of what to look for to figure out that your liver and gallbladder, spleen, and stomach are out of balance. All right. Okay, you guys can join me. We're going to stand up. Anytime you want, you can sit down during the class. You don't have to stay standing. Make sure that you feel comfortable the whole time. Okay, make sure you feel comfortable wherever you want to be. Thanks, Jim. That's good. So we're going to get started by gathering energy in. We inhale, the hands sweep out. And exhale, the hands come down in front of your body, down to the lower part of the abdomen. Inhale, sweeping out. Exhale. This always just feels good. I mean, it's just a nice movement. What we're doing is we're pulling some energy in and storing it deep in the belly. If you have any kind of neck, shoulder issues, you can do the same movement with the elbows down low to keep your neck and shoulders relaxed. So you don't have to lift the elbows up high. You could do the same movement with the elbows down low. Good. That's our opening. We'll also close our set with that exercise. It's a nice opening and closing. The next movement we're going to do is called the liver sound exercise. There's a sound we're going to make. It sounds like water hitting a hot frying pan. Okay. And my headset starts to cancel out the sound like it's background noise after the initial, but I'm doing that sound for the whole breath out. So if my lips are still puckered, I'm still making the sound, and it's just one exhale. Okay, you don't have to inhale and keep making the sound. Right? That sound helps to squeeze out the stuck energy in the liver and kind of break up any congestion there. The movement starts the same way. Hands come out to the side and up, and then we interlock the fingers. If you need to keep the hands lower, you can. And we turn the hands palm up, or you can have the palms facing out if you had any kind of discomfort. It shouldn't hurt at all. All right, we want it to be nice and comfortable. We're going to be bringing the right shoulder up a little bit. I'm not bending way over at the waist. It's somewhere in the middle of your back that I give a little stretch. I'm going to do a mirror image. So somewhere in the middle of your back it is. And then with eyes wide open, inhale, we make that sound. Breathing normally, straighten up. Hands separate, turn the palms down, the hands come down. We drop the hands and breathe normally. That's the movement and sound. We're going to add another element in. We're going to picture the liver, which is nice and big on your right side. You're going to picture it squeezing out when we make the sound, like a balloon deflating. And think that anger or frustration is being squeezed out. And then when the hands come down, we breathe normally, that it fills up. If you're good with color, you can imagine green filling it. Green fills it, and we think kindness is growing. Don't overthink it. What does she mean? Anger, kindness, just let it just kind of bounce around in your head and say whatever comes to your mind. The most important part of it is squeezing out and filling up. That's the most important part. And we have to imagine that. Okay. So inhaling, hands come up. Breathing normally, the hands turn palm up. And we're going to stretch that right side. Inhale. Make the liver sound. That's for the anger squeezing out. And then as we breathe normally, straightening up, palms down. Every breath we take now, we're picturing that liver expanding with green. Kindness growing in the liver. Let's do one more. Hands come up. You interlock the fingers, palms up, stretching that right side, eyes wide open, anger coming out. Inhale. Anger squeezing out. Breathing normally, hands separate, palms down, dropping the hands, and think about the liver expanding with green, kindness, filling the liver. The liver really wants us to take action on things. Something gets in our way, we get frustrated, angry. We can release it out, and kindness helps to transform that frustration back into action. Not that anger is bad, it's natural. Kindness transforms it from being stuck back into moving along, taking an action that we want. Okay. The energy of spring wakes up the flowers, wakes up the buds. Those plants have to bust through the frozen soil, right? How many people in your yards, you're already seeing stuff bust through, right? It's got to bust through the frozen ground. So it comes on strong, but if we hold back, it gets stuck. So you want to say something because you're upset, but you hold it back, it starts to build up pressure. Kindness comes in. We can think of, I'm just going to say a little something, but in a gentle, kind way. If you feel kindness, it doesn't come out too harsh. You connect with kindness, it comes out in a healthy way. Anger is part of healthy relationships. Okay. Our next movement is for the spleen energy, and that's on your left. So we bring the hands up to the center in the stomach, and then you're going to go a little to your left, just a little to your left, where it's still soft, not on the ribs, but still where it's soft, just a little to the left. And we just push gently. And I don't mean a deep poke. I mean, just like a little bit of pressure. We'll push, and then the hands will relax down. That's the whole movement. The sound is like a cappuccino machine. All right. One of our students is in Italy right now, so she's got fresh in her mind what the cappuccino machine sounds like. Like you're going to spit. And sometimes it's hard for people to make that sound. If it sounds just like blowing out, that's fine. Okay. But if you have that ability to kind of get that spitting sound in the back of your throat, it creates a vibration that we're trying to create. All right. And we think of this whole area deflating like a balloon, and worry is coming out. When the hands come down, relaxing, yellow comes in, and openness grows. Openness grows. So we bring the hands up a little to your left, pushing gently worry out. And breathing normally, hands drop down. Picture that whole left side expanding like a balloon, inflating, openness growing. Openness growing. Filling with a beautiful yellow color. Repeat, the hands come up. We're going to push gently, worry out. Inhale. Worry out, hands relax down, openness, growing, picture it filling with yellow. If it's hard to concentrate, you can just put your hand there to keep your attention there. Sometimes it's hard to visualize things. A gentle touch can help bring your attention in. And we'll do one more, hands come a little left of center. Worry squeezing out. Breathing normally, hands relax down. Openness growing, spleen, stomach, and pancreas filling with yellow. Openness growing. And those are from the 6 healing sounds, a very ancient style of Qigong. There's written records of it back to 600 BC. The style's been around a long time. Now we're going to add in a little bit from the fragrance Qigong style. So the hands come in front, palms facing towards each other, okay? And we just swing them left and right. This one is called wind, which our liver has the ability to get circulation going through the body, kind of like wind blowing. So this helps that energy circulation through the body, wind. And I'm not turning my waist with it, so it's not like Tai Chi where the hands move with the spine. The rest of my body stands still, and I just swing the arms left and right. That's called wind. It helps the organs, as I mentioned, liver, gallbladder, spleen, stomach, helps with digestion, any kind of digestive troubles. This style of Qigong is really great for all the ones we're going to do together. Great for digestive trouble. And now we're going to circle the hands up and around. I keep those elbows down. Keep those elbows down, and I let the hands circle. And it doesn't matter which way you circle first. We're going to do this direction for a little bit, and then we're going to switch to the other direction.
You're saying circle, not oval.
It's a little taller than it's wide, just because our forearms go up a little easier and they go out. So I don't need to make a perfectly round circle. To do that, you'd have to turn the waist. So it's it's taller than it's wide. Yeah.
I think I've exaggerated it at times. That's why I was clarifying.
I don't think it matters too much. And then we're going to switch the direction. Fragrance Qigong, the movements are a little faster than other styles. If the arms feel tired, you can go a little slower, but it's not supposed to be super slow. This style is not a super slow style. Okay. But if your arms get tired, you're going too fast or you're doing too many, you just let your hands come down, take a break. Good. The next one is called wheel. Both palms face downward. The top hand goes outward and down as the bottom hand stays close to the body and comes up. The top one is on the outside as the bottom one comes up. Okay, so I'm showing you the basic shape of it, but I don't want to be moving my elbow with it. I want my elbow to stay down. So it's more like a windshield wiper where one comes up, the other flips down. Okay, but it's still in a circle forward. Just like keep the elbows low. Just keep the elbows low. So it's more flipping up and then down. But that top hand goes on the outside. The bottom hand comes up close to the chest. So we circle forward, forward. This one is called wheel. It balances our yin and yang energy, which is really important for the digestion and peace of mind. And circling forward. All right, the next movement, both hands are down. The hands are a little closer together. And then I rock the arms side to side. This one is called boat. So you can think of like a boat rocking on the water. And it's physically creating that pumping action on your right side for the liver and gallbladder, and the left side for the spleen and stomach. And if your arms get tired, just take a little break.
It doesn't matter which one's on top. Right?
It does not matter which hand's on top. That's a good point. I should have said that. Doesn't matter. Hands relax down. Now bring your hands up to in front of your eyes, and the thumb is opposite from the other fingers, okay? Like you're looking through binoculars. And then we bring the hands down. But the pace is not the same. Up is a little quicker, down is a little slower. Up is a little quicker, down is a little slower. The eyes are energetically connected to our liver and gallbladder energy. And when those organs are out of balance, people will often get trouble with the eyes, like eye pain, dry eyes, red eyes. Redness in your eyes is called liver fire. It's like there's a fire in the liver, and you can see it in the color of the eyes. So this exercise helps the liver, but also the eyes. So this would be great to prevent eye problems or to help heal any eye problem you have. Down a little slower, up a little quicker. Good, one more. And then the hands come down. Good, all right. So that's our fragrance Qigong part of the form. And now we're going to start working on some of the 4 seasons for the spring. So 4 seasons is a style of Qigong I learned from Dr. Yang Ming, my main teacher, and it focuses on the abdomen, and it's called Spring Qigong as part of the seasonal set. So I want to show the spinal movement before we add the arms in. When we're up tall, there's a little curve in the neck, normal. Okay, the neck kind of curves inward, right? Right, convex. And then our upper back curves the other way, kind of concave. Our lower back is, again, flip the other way, concave. And then the butt goes convex, all right? So it keeps flipping direction. When we come up tall, we want to be nice and tall with the breastbone up a little bit so we get the curves in all the right places of the spine. We bend the knees and we round the spine, and we turn all of those curves into one direction, like a C shape. So all of the curves are like a C shape, all convex, and then we roll up one joint at a time. We put all the flippy different directions back where they belong. You sink down. So when I sink down, I bend the knee so I can tuck that pelvis under. That's how I get that roundness in the lower back. The shoulders come forward just a little bit. And then I roll up from the bottom, coming up, put all the curves back the way they belong. So I sink down, rounding, and then I roll up one joint at a time. I sink down and round all at once. I don't do a wave on the way down. That rolling up only happens on the way up. Nice and gentle, okay? Sinking down, I bend the knees, rounding the spine, and then rolling up one joint at a time, coming up. Now, when I sink down and round, I don't bend at my hips forward. That uses too much back muscle. It's more like the spine goes backwards, okay? It's like the spine goes backwards. The shoulders are still above your feet. Shoulders are still above your feet, and you roll up, the shoulders stay above your feet. If you pitch forward when you do it, you end up tensing the back a little bit. So the butt goes down, not back, okay? Butt sinks down, right? Now we're going to add some arm movements that go along with this. So we'll start with the left hand on top, the right hand under, and we'll just do the arm movements first. Your left hand comes straight down, but the right, the elbow comes up first, and then the palm turns to face the ceiling. If you had shoulder problems, you could leave the arm down lower and turn the palm to face forward, okay? But if it can come all the way up, palm faces the ceiling, right? When I do that, I want the left side of the rib cage to drop and the right to come up, just kind of like when we were doing that liver sound where it's not at the waist, it's at the middle of the spine. So I'm stretching the ribs up on the right and I'm squeezing down on the left, those ribs. Then I turn the palms to face each other. And now your right hand's on top. And everything is totally relaxed. Try not to suck your gut in. Keep it really relaxed. And then we switch to the other side. Your right hand pushes down, the left elbow comes up, and I'm nice and tall, so my head is not tilted, okay, nice and tall. Now I'm stretching the ribs up on the left side, I'm squeezing them on the right, but try not to have your shoulder up too high. It's the ribs that we're rocking, okay? It's the rib cage I'm rocking. I don't need the shoulder to be up super tall. My legs are straight at this point. I turn the palms to face each other. Now is when I bend the knees and round the spine. So I hold the ball with the whole spine in a C shape, shaped like a C, and then I roll up one joint at a time. I put all the different curves back where they belong. Nice and tall. I'm stretching on the right side, squeezing on the left, but that right shoulder is not too high. Turn the palms to face each other. The right hand is now on top, bend the knees, round the spine. Let's add some breathing in. As your left hand comes up, that's our first inhale. Then I hold that movement as I exhale. Inhale one more time. Turn the palms on the second exhale, sink down, rounding the spine. Inhale, the right hand comes up nice and tall. Exhale, hold the stretch. Inhale, hold the stretch. Flip the palms, exhale, bend the knees and rounding the spine. Completely relax. Inhale, left hand comes up nice and tall. Exhale, hold the stretch. Inhale, hold the stretch. Flip the palms to face inward. That left hand comes down, completely relaxed, sinking down. Inhale, rolling up. I straighten the legs, nice and tall. Exhale, hold the stretch. Inhale, hold the stretch. Turn the palms, exhale, hold the ball, and let the hands relax down. And just tune in for a moment. That one creates a lot of circulation through the abdomen. It should feel comfortable. If you tune in and you feel, I'm going to have you guys, wait, before we sit down, let's gather our energy in. Inhale, gather the energy in. Exhale, guide it to the dantian. We're just going to scoop that energy in. Exhale, guide it in. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Hands in front of the dantian. Inhale, imagine the energy in your body all flows deep into the belly. Exhale, condense it to a small ball. Inhale, pull your energy into the belly. Exhale, pack it into a small ball. Once more, inhale. Exhale, condense it. Then we do a simple tapping massage. We rub the palms together, feel a little friction there. And then gently tap from the forehead to the top of the head a few times, very gently. You're not trying to really knock your noggin. And then from the forehead, the sides, very gentle, should feel pleasant. In the back of the skull, then the base of the neck, the back of the neck, the upper traps. We're just tapping gently, very light touch. And then with one hand, pat circles around the opposite shoulder, down the outside of the arm to the back of the hand, then the palm, up the inside of the arm, across the chest, switching hands, other shoulder, outside of the arm, the palm, up the inside, back to the shoulder. Both hands on the lower back. Down the outside of the legs. Go down as low as you can. If you can get to the top of the feet, that's great. And then come up the inside of the legs. All the way up to the waist and then around the waist to the lower back. You guys can have a seat. I'm just going to talk quickly. Tune into how you're feeling, right? You want to have an even feeling through the body. If you have tension in the neck and shoulders, really be aware. Don't hike them up. We do a few things with the arms coming up, okay? We're doing a lot of arm movement. Keep the elbows lower, slow it down. Don't do as many repetitions as I do if you're feeling some tension through there, okay? With Qigong exercise, our goal is to get the energy circulating. That's going to make us all feel better. We need to bring awareness to it so that we don't overdo it and that we can increase our perception of energy. What does energy feel like? I know what it feels like for me because I've been doing it a long time. What's it feel like for you? We have to figure that out. If you're new to it, you got to learn how to sense it. In order to be able to tune into it, we have to always be tuning in when we do Qigong. That means don't keep going. If I'm doing a movement, okay, I'm doing a lot, and you're like, man, my shoulders are getting tired, my neck's bugging me. How are you going to feel subtle energy feelings if something is getting cranked up? So we always need to bring awareness to the movements, not do too many. If it feels like too many, you just drop the hands, take a break. You can sit down during the whole style if you want to. I like to do it standing, and I do that up and down. But some of these movements, if you're standing still too long, the legs can get tired. So kind of going up and down a little bit can be helpful. We get more of a groove going with the legs as we're used to the movements, not so much, peg legging it. Okay. So awareness needs to come in when we do Qigong. More is not better. Okay. If you've done other kinds of movement where you're trying to, push it and do more each time, we need to let that stuff go and really honor that Qigong is about what it feels like, not what it looks like. It's about what it feels like. And there's not too many styles of movement like that. Okay. Not too many. So you might not have had that experience before if you're new to Qigong. We need to reframe it and really tune in. It's what it feels like, not what it looks like. Any questions about anything? We got partway through our set. All right. There's a few more movements to learn. We'll keep adding on. We'll review all of these and add on. Each class at the beginning, I'll do a little bit of lecture. I try not to talk too much in the class, which is a challenge for me. I talk a lot. All right. So the struggle is real. I try not to talk too much, but I want to impart some knowledge about what the organs do and what the style is for so that you can increase your awareness. Okay. But I try not to talk too much. Yes.
Fragrance Qigong come from? I haven't taken that class.
Yeah, so fragrance Qigong is a style of Qigong that was first started to be shared with people in the 80s. I first learned it in, when was it? 94. That's when I first learned it. But it wasn't released to the public. I think it was the late 80s from China. And there's a beginning, primary set, a beginner set, an intermediate set, which is really not much harder. The intermediate is the one where we do the leg stuff. I don't know if you've done any of those with me before. And then there's supposed to be a third set, an advanced set, but it hasn't been released. So I don't know. I don't know. Is that one ever coming out? If you ever hear of it, send me a note because haven't heard any news about that style. And it's a nice, simple style where the movements are a little quicker and it gets the chi pumping through your body. Yeah, yeah, you're welcome. Great. All right, my dears, thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate all of you here and those watching the recordings later. Let me know if questions come up. Okay, thank you so much. And I will send out reminders, but we are skipping April 18th. So there's no class April 18th. We go 2 more weeks after that. So I think I put it in the email for the course, but I will try to remind people because it's a little bit out there. It's easy to forget. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.